Power Trip concert. Yes, I know we all wanted to go, but some of us from different reasons. Me personally, I couldn't afford it. Believe it or not, they actually had a payment plan. If you were to buy tickets, I think they limited 8 tickets per person. There was actually a payment plan where you can do a down payment or you can pay 50% initially and then the rest 50% later. The down payment was $99 and then you had 4 months to pay the rest. So when you have that kind of crap going on, you know the ticket is damn expensive, right? And plus you had to pay the ticket to get to California. It was held in Indio, California, which is, for those of you who don't know, it's pretty much near Palm Springs Airport, about 20 minutes away from the airport. So not the easiest location to get to, right? It's kind of far from Los Angeles, kind of far from San Diego. The hotels and gas and all that, there was no freaking way I was doing that. And I know a lot of you feel the same way. You've probably saw these little shaky videos about the concerts online on YouTube. You know what? I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to read you this article that goes into detail on how it was, and hopefully we can all experience it together on how it could have been like, maybe get a little glimpse of it, right? And I mean, check out this amazing lineup, right? Friday night, you had Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden headlining. Saturday night, you had AC/DC, Judas Priest. And Sunday night, you had Metallica and Tool. Oh my goodness. What a freaking festival. I personally, what it shows, I mean, it's a toss-up between GNR and Iron Maiden. Day 1 versus day 3, Metallica and Tool. Kind of a toss-up. Seen them all. And man, what a time it must have been for those people. 80,000 people showed up. Apparently, it's not as many as like those big Coachella ones. Like I heard 125,000 people can show up to those. But I mean, for a heavy metal only or focused festival, I mean, this is freaking awesome. You know what I mean? Let's get into this. Okay, so the article is called 10 Reasons Why Power Trip Was the Gig of the Year. Damn right. An almighty gamble, but one that paid off in spades. Power Trip was held on the site of Coachella in the California desert and saw the planet's cream of the crop and metal go hard. Words by Rich Hobson. With a colossal all-star lineup featuring AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Tool, and Metallica, there's no way that Power Trip could have been anything less than legendary. Spread across 3 days, Power Trip was a festival unlike just about anything else on the planet, with an eye-watering price tag to match. Hey Rocker, if you're really loving this, do me a favor and smash that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel. If I'm bringing you value, that'd be so awesome. Thank you, and let's get back to the article. Yeah, like I was saying, right? I don't even know. They don't even list the pricing if you go on their website. But like I said, just with that payment plan, you know it's going to be freaking too much. But that didn't stop 80,000 fans making a pilgrimage out to the California desert for a once-in-a-lifetime experience. That in mind, here are 10 reasons Power Trip was truly worthy of legend. These bands will likely never share the same stage again, damn right. I mean, a lot of these bands are getting older, right? Yeah, there's no way that's going to happen again, unless they do it this year, you know? Any one of these acts would be the tentpole attraction of just about any other festival, but at Power Trip, they were pulled together in one place to share a stage. Even putting aside egos and budgetary constraints, none of the band at Power Trip were spring chickens. Even the youngest band, Tool, have been going for over 3 decades. And the conversation of retirement comes up more and more as the miles on the clock mount. I'm assuming there are a lot of older generations in the crowd, you know? I mean, they're probably the ones that can actually afford the ticket and the hotel and the flight. Outside, maybe a small mosh pit. Not sure if the crowd was, too rowdy, if you know what I mean. Perhaps, if nothing else, Power Trip was the last hurrah for a certain breed of bands who remember a time when rock ruled the earth. Damn right. Man, what happened to those times? Please come back, please. The setting was stunning, flanked by mountains and set in the heart of the California desert with palm trees dotted around the site. It wasn't hard to see why Indio's Empire Polo Club is so popular with the Coachella crowd. While the heat and dust could certainly take their toll, such a stunning backdrop lent a real sense of drama and occasion that, with the best will in the world, you don't get from a muddy field in Leicestershire. Leicestershire. Okay, obviously classic rock magazine, British magazine, right? So no idea what that is, but guess you get the visuals. The music did the talking. While we'll likely never see an Iron Maiden show entirely bereft of Eddie, the sheer production requirements of Power Trip meant that every band on the bill had to at least cut back their production. This meant no elaborate Japanese cities for Maiden, no gigantic trains for AC/DC, and an all-around streamlined experience for fans as each band focused instead on belting out some of the biggest rock anthems on the planet. But don't worry, there were still cannons front and center for those about to rock because some things can't be cut. Damn right, glad that happened. Even the bands were starstruck. Gather 6 headline-sized bands in a single space, and you might expect some egos to blow up backstage, but Metallica proved that the contrary was actually true. Turning up on Friday to watch Maiden and Guns from the side stage, with James Hetfield and Kirk Hammett reappearing the following day to headbang to Judas Priest from the pit, alongside fans. Between Kirk's wavy locks and Hetfield's white cowboy Stetson, they weren't exactly incognito about it either. Hetfield later admitting during his own set that these bands made Metallica. Yeah, I actually saw footage of that online about Kirk and Hetfield just jamming away at Judas Priest. It was awesome. Because at the end of the day, these guys are still fans, you know? Iron Maiden put on a show for the ages, even without the hits. The final date for 2023 of Iron Maiden's Future Past Tour, Power Trip saw Bruce and co. stick to their guns when it came to sidestepping the more obvious hits in favor of lesser-played deep cuts. Oh, cool. That's pretty brave of them. Especially during a festival. So what happens with a lot of these bands, right, especially during festivals, they just play the big hits because they know people are not only there to see them, they're to see maybe not even them. They're here to see a couple other bands besides them, so they want to play all the big hits so they can kind of gather up more fans with a lot of the popular songs. So the fact that Maiden didn't succumb to that, pretty cool, right? But I think they're probably at an age where they don't give a shit. Can I Play With Madness, The Prisoner, Fear of the Dark, Iron Maiden, and The Trooper provided massive sing-alongs aplenty. Okay, at least they did those. Bruce Dickinson apparently immune to the stifling heat of the desert as he dashed around the stage, roared with aplomb, and generally showed why Maiden are the kings of massive metal extravaganza. Hey rock fan, if you're really digging this type of content and want to support the channel because you want to see more of this stuff, please consider clicking the link in the description below. That'll give you access to the It's One Letter podcast store, and you can get really cool gear like this cap, this shirt, this really cool hoodie, this cool Griffin design of the It's One Louder logo right here. Check that out. Griffin, by the way, is half eagle, half lion. Hoo-hoo. There's another option for the Griffin, mythological creature. You got a white version of this It's One Louder devil horns. You also got the It's One Louder volume knob to commemorate that cult movie that we all love, Spinal Tap. Spinal Tap rocks. And you got this one, double devil horns. Ooh, we're not messing around here. Okay, well, if any of these designs rocked your boat, I'd appreciate you clicking on that store link to represent It's One Louder and share your passion and love for rock and roll with everyone else. Now, just for doing that, use the promo code ROCK1LOUDER to benefit from a one-time 15% off just for you. Man, the fact that Bruce Dickinson did that in the desert in the dead heat shows his true professionalism and showmanship. I've seen Bruce with Iron Maiden a couple of times, and he does that, you know, runs around, does that operatic thing, and just gets the crowd into it. So that's not surprising, but the fact he did that in the desert at his age, just rocking out, is very inspirational. Judas Priest were a worthy replacement for Ozzy Osbourne. Right, yes, that's true. Ozzy Osbourne was supposed to be at this show, and it was like a last-minute thing, he couldn't make it, so Judas Priest stepped in. In May 1983, the Heavy Metal Day of San Bernardino's U.S. festival signaled the genre's commercial conquering of America. 40 years later, Judas Priest showed why heavy metal is still a global phenomenon, blasting War Pigs in tribute to Ozzy Osbourne, who they stepped in to replace after he was forced to cancel for health reasons. Priest came out with an all-cylinders firing set that got the blood pumping, even bringing out semi-retired guitarist Glenn Tipton for an encore of Metal Gods, Breaking the Law, and Living After Midnight. All class, all metal. Man, that's so cool that they did War Pigs, just honoring Ozzy. Man, so cool. That, you know, goes to show that metal is a family. The metal community, the subculture, the subgenre, whatever you want to call it, is just so family-oriented. Like, all the fans gather together, and it's just a celebration of music with every concert, and they're so loyal to their bands. And, you know, even amongst the bands that we worship, there's a family community within them, and this definitely demonstrates that. So cool. AC/DC stole the weekend with a career-spanning set list. They might not have the props, but AC/DC's first live set in 7 years, wow, I didn't realize that, was jam-packed with surprises. From opener, If You Want Blood, You Got It, a song they've not played since 2003, to other live rarities, Stiff Upper Lip, and Dog Eat Dog, as well as the live debut of power-up track Shot in the Dark and Riff Raff, played with Brian Johnson in front of an audience for the first time. The set list was an absolute dream for any AC/DC superfans. Speaking of which, and they brought their own dive bar to town. Named High Voltage, AC/DC's pop-up dive bar in India was packed to the gills with merchandise and memorabilia, playing DC tunes over the jukebox around the clock. From stacks of TV showing live videos to a massive merch store and a tattoo parlor offering free AC/DC logo tattoos all weekend. What? That's insane. It was a mecca for superfans, attracting more than a few gents in schoolboy outfits, not to mention Mr. Angus Young himself. And the drinks were cheaper than the main festival site. Have a drink on us indeed. Wow. Man, AC/DC knows how to do it up. That's so cool. Free AC/DC tattoos. Talk about a brilliant marketing scheme, right? Tattooed on your body for life. I wonder how many tattoos they did of that. Tool completely upended the notion of the rock star. After 2 days of grandstanding rock and roll, Tool lived up to their reputation as prog agitators as Maynard James Keenan dodgily avoided the spotlight, instead choosing to perform from the back of the stage as an eerie shadowed silhouette. Yeah, but that's been his shtick for a long time now. Not really taking center stage, that's his whole thing. What's more, it just made their set a powerful, slow-burning sonic journey to kaleidoscopic imagery, feel even more otherworldly, like intercepting communications from another dimension. That's the thing I find with Tool shows. I mean, it's pretty much almost the opposite of Kiss. I would classify it as a visual sonic experience more than kind of a showmanship, kind of a connection with the band members itself and connection with the band. It's more a connection with the music and the art because they have a lot of these huge screens at Tool shows and they have all this just amazing visuals. If you're a Tool fan, you know what I'm talking about. Adam Jones, the guitar player, he actually did a lot of special effects. Like he did a lot of special effects for the... what's it called with those movies, the dinosaur movies, the Jurassic Park movies. He was part of the set and was employed to do a lot of the special effects on that. That's why for a lot of the videos, Adam Jones is actually the one doing all the art direction and all those really cool imagery in the videos. Metallica closed the weekend with a bang. Of course, you gotta close the festival with Metallica, the quintessential all-time greatest metal band ever, Metallica. Walking onto site the final day, we counted no less than half a dozen vehicles blasting Metallica at full volume. Further evidence, if any as needed, that Metallica's status as metal's biggest band isn't up for debate. The band pulled a crowd just as massive as AC/DC the night before and treated them to a career-spanning set list that combined thrash, bomb blast, whiplash, creeping death, one of my all-time favorite metal songs and Metallica songs, soulful ballads, Nothing Else Matters, The Day That Never Comes, plus enduring and all-conquering anthems, Enter Sandman, Master of Puppets, of course. Talk about an explosive finish. Man, I'm telling you, I wish I was there, and I know a lot of you feel the same way. Hopefully this gave you a little snippet of what it meant or what it felt like to be there. Like I said, that was such a historic event. I don't think you can ever replicate that. I know on a daily basis there are amazing metal bands coming up. You just have to work a little harder to find it because unlike 20 years ago, there's no machine pushing a certain band like Metallica or like Megadeth or like Anthrax on these heavy music radio stations or, you know, MTV videos. It's not like that anymore. So you just have to put in a little bit more work in trying to find these bands on the streaming platforms. And you know what? We got to celebrate these bands. You know, they're getting, like the article said, they're getting older. I'm not sure how long they're going to be around. You know, Lars Ulrich playing Creeping Death or Battery, I'm not sure how long he can do that. You know, it's just physically impossible when you get to a certain age. A lot of these heavy bands, what they do is that they have a younger guy come in and do the drums for them if they want to continue doing live shows. So we'll see what Metallica does. We'll see what all these bands do. And at some point, they just won't be physically able to play the type of like these fast riffed songs, fast paced songs. So we'll see what happens. But I think in the meantime, let's celebrate their music. And yeah, rock on. Whatever you do in life, do it one louder, especially when it comes to rocking. Thank you so much for listening to the end. It really means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. Please connect with me on TikTok, Instagram, and X at
rockwithpjpat.
And I'll rock with you there.